Police investigate a murder at a Rockford gas station. The search for the suspect who gunned down a 21-year-old.
Plus, a monthly distribution event to support families in need. How the Baby Banks event has grown over the years.
And the NFL season is finally underway. The economic impact state line sports bars enjoy on game days.
Live from WTVO 17. This is Eyewitness News at 5.
Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Wendell Edwards. We thank you for being here. Tonight at 5, Rockford police are looking for a suspected killer after a man was shot and killed overnight at a gas station. Rockford
police responded to Charles Street last night near the Citgo gas station. Police say a man was found there with life-threatening gunshot wounds. He later died from his injuries. We're still working to learn more from police. Authorities have not identified the victim or any suspects.
Also tonight at 5, a Rockford man is facing murder charges in connection to a deadly motorcycle crash. Jose Olivencia III is charged with first-degree murder. Authorities say Olivencia discovered Friday morning 2 of his motorcycles had been stolen, and he started searching for them. That's when police say he spotted 45-year-old Mark Guesswine driving one of the bikes, and then he began to chase him. Guesswine crashed that motorcycle on Monroe Street near Ingersoll Golf Course. Now, police say he was ran off the road by Olivencia and killed during that crash. Olivencia was booked into the Winnebago County Jail on Saturday and has been since granted pretrial release.
A local church is helping families in need with baby basics. Brook Road United Methodist Church held its monthly diaper distribution this afternoon. It's organized by the Baby Bank, an area nonprofit. Baby diapers and other essential items for infants were provided to families at no cost. Organizers with the Baby Bank say they distribute about 20,000 diapers to families every month, with the need growing every year.
We're up 21% over last year. Every year we're going up double digit in demand every year. And so where our budget used to be 20 or 30,000, this year it's over 70,000. And again, that's all given money to us. And when people give us money, we buy diapers and give them out. And so the demand for this stuff's incredible.
Beginning today, State Representative Maurice West is hosting a diaper drive to support the Baby Bank. The drive runs through September 19th. Local restaurants and bars welcome the start of the NFL season, and for good reason.
Eyewitness reporter Tyler Sorensen went to a few local pubs and bars prepping for the people watching the Bears opening game on Monday Night Football. Tyler, how big of a boost is this for bar owners?
Yeah, Mimi, Wendell, it's a big boost. As the 2 bars I went to, I've already seen an increase in guests just from the Week 1 slate, with the NFL season signifying the start of a busy season for them. Now, one business owner mentioned that because of the NFL games, it can potentially boost the restaurant's revenue up 10 to 15% due to people coming out and either enjoying the community aspect of the games or watching the games that they might not be able to see at home, something that has become increasingly common over the years.
So this little bar was $7,500 to have the NFL package. Another bar of mine that's bigger, that was $12,000. Trying to get our money back on those days. It's about having a good product that the NFL is providing and driving those games that people can't watch at home. So we were able to show them there and let them see the game while giving them our business as well.
Now you'll be able to watch the Bears opening game right here on WTVO starting at 7 p.m. Wendell.
Tyler, thank you. Drivers have more construction to navigate on Illinois 251 in McChesney Park. Resurfacing work on the road began today from Windsor Road to Melbourne Avenue. One lane is closed in each direction along 251. Resurfacing is expected to be finished by the end of the year. Then workers will replace traffic signals and restripe in the spring. The entire project is expected to be finished by June. The average cost of gas per gallon in Rockford dropped 6 cents over the past week. That's according to a survey by Gas Buddy. Right now, the average cost in the Forest City to $3.28 a gallon. This comes after several consecutive weeks of prices rising locally. You can find a map of most stations in our area and their prices on our website, mystateline.com.
A fast food chain could be getting a new location on Rockford's west side. A special use permit request is under consideration by the Rockford Zoning Board of Appeals. The application's requesting a permit for a McDonald's restaurant location with a drive-through on West State Street, right off the intersection of Springfield Avenue. The nearest McDonald's to that location is 2 miles away on Auburn Street. The zoning board will meet to consider the permit on September 16th. Well, teenagers skipping breakfast is a common habit that may seem harmless. Experts say it could impact their ability to learn. Dietitians say the best choices for breakfast have healthy fats, carbohydrates, protein, and fiber. If a child's breakfast doesn't have essential components, they may be more likely to have a blood sugar drop, which can affect their brain, food, and mood and energy level.
If kids aren't eating in the morning, especially if kids are having tricky sleep the night before, they're going to have a lot of trouble focusing in the classroom. So they're going to have trouble focusing. They're going to have trouble staying awake. They're going to have trouble absorbing the information that they're supposed to be learning.
Dietitians also suggest avoiding anything sugary for breakfast, like cereal, unless it's something whole grain and with high fiber.
The American Foundation for Suicide Prevention is gearing up for an annual event to increase prevention awareness. The group's annual Out of the Darkness Walk is next month. In fact, there are 15 walks here in the state and more across all U.S. states. In Rockford, it'll be held at Rock Valley College next month. The walk serves as a fundraiser for the group and an opportunity for people impacted by suicide to come together and support one another.
We're still seeing people losing loved ones to suicide. So they want to come out, they want to know that they're not alone, they want to be part of a community. And then we're seeing the event just grow and grow with so many people coming out, again, who maybe haven't lost someone, but they just really strongly believe in that mental health component. So people who have had their own lived experience journey, maybe they're attempt survivors, maybe they support someone at home.
The walk in Rockford again at Rock Valley College will take place at 1 p.m. on October 5th.
Jury selections underway for the man accused of attempting to kill President Trump last year.
When we return, the issues the judge already has with the defendant's questions for potential jurors.
And coming up tonight at 6, a partnership between the Illinois Commerce Commission and the FCC. How a federal program could help save you money.
With some sunshine out there today, temperatures were able to climb into the low 70s, still a bit below average, but that's about to change in just a couple of days. Find out when those numbers will warm and if we see any rainfall with that. That's all coming up in your most trusted forecast a little later.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team, with Mimi Murphy, Wendell Edwards, Sports Director Scott Lever, and Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
The federal trial of the man accused of attempting to kill then presidential candidate Trump during his campaign for re-election last year is now underway.
59-year-old Ryan Ruth from North Carolina is representing himself. Jury selection beginning today. Rena Rohr reports on the issues the judge has with many of Ruth's questions for prospective jurors.
A rocky start to the trial of Ryan Ruth, the 59-year-old construction worker accused of trying to assassinate Donald Trump at his Florida golf course. As jury selection gets underway, Judge Eileen Cannon has barred Ruth, who's representing himself, from asking most of his proposed jury questions, calling them politically charged and irrelevant, including questions about Trump's proposed acquisition of Greenland and jurors' stances on Palestine. Ruth also wanting to ask potential jurors what they would do if they saw a turtle in the middle of the road. At times, the judge cutting Ruth off and reminding him to follow the court's rules.
Judge Cannon has also said, if this gets chaotic, we're going to have to put in some sort of guardrails here to make sure it gets back on track. We're going to get a public defender who she's already said is going to be on the ready if this does go off the rails. The judge can do that.
Prosecutors say Ruth methodically plotted for weeks before aiming a rifle through shrubbery while Trump was golfing at his West Palm Beach country club nearly a year ago. Prosecutors say a Secret Service agent saw him opening fire. Ruth running off without firing any shots and was arrested a short time later. Ruth pleaded not guilty to 5 criminal charges that carry a maximum sentence of life in prison, including attempting to kill a presidential candidate and possession of a firearm in furtherance of a crime of violence. According to court filings, Ruth has requested a, quote, beatdown session with Trump and asked to compete for his life in a round of golf with the president instead of going to trial, which is expected to take about 2 to 4 weeks. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Back here in the state line, temperatures can start warming up as we look ahead.
When we come back, Candace lets us know about the warm-up and some possible drought conditions ahead in her full forecast coming up.
Now, your first warn weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Oh, we have had lots of sunshine out there today. A beautiful day to get out and enjoy. Just some clouds kind of working through over the last few hours. A little bit of a hazy look out there as well. When we look live with our SkyTrack camera out in Rochelle looking off to the northwest, we'll maintain a mostly clear sky through the evening, and I think that's what will allow our temperature to drop back down into the 40s again, although not quite as cool as what we've been here the last couple of mornings. 71 in Rochelle, 72 in Freeport. Same thing in Janesville, 74 in Sterling, and 75 right now down in Dixon. 72 for our weather watcher Terry down in Genoa this last hour. Dew point at 51, so it's been fairly comfortable out there. And we've had a light southerly wind now at around 5 miles per hour. 70 for our weather watcher this last hour, Kevin out in Lena. 50 that dew point temperature, and a breeze coming in from the south around 11 miles per hour. Now we've had this cooler stretch of weather for quite some time. In fact, 3 weeks temperatures have been below average. August 18th, that was the last time our temperature was above average. We were 87 degrees that afternoon. The 19th, we dropped down into the low 80s, which was still a degree below average, but set the trend for that cooler pattern to continue. But we're about to flip that pattern again, and temperatures are expected to warm by the middle of this week. We're climbing into the upper 70s. Might not seem like a lot, but with the average high sitting at 78 and 77 degrees, we will continue to climb. And in fact, our numbers by the time we get to the middle to end of the week will be climbing back into the 80s. We might hit that 80-degree mark on Wednesday. Just depends on some cloud cover there for the afternoon. But I think by Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we'll definitely see those 80s. And depending on the timing of a cold front and low pressure moving down from Hudson Bay later this week, temperatures could even climb into the upper 80s potentially here within the next few days. But we could see those numbers drop, but even then still staying a bit above that average. And notice when we look at our outlook here, which takes us through the middle to even end of the month, there higher probability for above average temperatures. Now we're not talking about 90-degree warmth for an extended period of time, considering our average highs will be dropping back through those middle 70s, but still warming up as we've got this ridge of high pressure building in. The downfall to that, it doesn't look like it is going to be an overly wet pattern. Now with this cool stretch, I would have rather had cool and dry conditions rather than cool and wet conditions. That would have caused some issues, especially for a lot of the fields and the grain and things like that. But we're going to see some drier conditions. We might see a couple of showers try to move in there by the time we get into the weekend with that cold front. But right now, nothing at this point that looks too significant. And when we look at our latest drought monitor, so when we compare the last 2 weeks here, this is from last week, notice we've got pretty stable conditions across the state. Still some dry spots and still some areas that have been dealing with, especially east central Illinois and parts of southern Illinois, dealing with moderate drought conditions. But just over the last week, with a really dry stretch of weather, we've noticed those drier conditions really expanding. And my concern is that we'll continue to see that shift a little further north, especially if we don't see that precipitation. Now, there's a small chance where we could see some precipitation in here by the time we get in towards the middle of the week or getting into Tuesday night, perhaps a couple of sprinkles here and there. 81 on Thursday, 84 on Friday. Cold front comes in, that could drop those numbers there as we head in towards the early part of next week.
Thank you, Candace.
Scott's next with sports.
The Bears have a chance tonight to show the nation they're a team to be taken seriously this season, and Caleb Williams will also try to answer his critics.
Now sports with sports director Scott Lever.
It's time to find out what kind of impact Ben Johnson will have on the Bears this season. He'll make his head coaching debut tonight in the primetime spotlight, and it's a big one against the Vikings. And the pressure will be on both young quarterbacks to deliver. J.J. McCarthy will be making his first NFL start for the Vikings. And Caleb Williams will be trying to prove he is much better at reading defenses, getting rid of the football, and making better decisions than he did last year. Can Johnson bring all that out of Williams? Williams says they're on the same page.
Even just sitting in, some of the meetings, this year and even today, and going through our first game week and just understanding, things that I may not have understood last year, whether it's defenses, whether it's offense, whether it's just, scheme and offense or defense. I think I think I've taken a step in that. And Ben, I've said it multiple times, I think he's been great for me.
We've got the game right here on WTVO. 7 o'clock is when the coverage begins on ABC. The Packers are feeling real good about their opening day win over the Lions, and Micah Parsons is feeling real good about being a Packer. He picked up his first sack yesterday, and he's only going to get better as he gets back into shape after missing the preseason with a back issue.
Emotionally, I couldn't be more happy, to get my first win in Lambeau, having amazing fans, just everything overall. It was just a one-on-one experience for me. And, I told J-Lo that's our first one, and I can't wait to keep stacking them. We got a long way to go.
Big in this game, and he has so far.
And the Packers have a short turnaround this week. They will host the Commanders Thursday night. That game will only be shown on Amazon Prime. A second week of high school football is in the books. So let's start up a new Athlete of the Week contest. We have 4 new finalists. Athlete of the Week is brought to you by McCloskey, Kessler & Associates. Our finalists are Stockton quarterback Noah Larson, Harlem receiver defensive back Jackson Cook, Dupac running back Dermot Dolan, and Byron quarterback defensive back Andrew Talbert. You can place your vote now on our website, mystateline.com. I'll announce the winner Friday night on Overtime on Fox 39. That's sports. We'll be right back.
The 20th annual Surf Dog Surfathon made waves at a beach in Del Mar, California today.
More than 50 dogs competed in the event, showing off their skills in 10-minute heats, judged on ride length, technique, enthusiasm, and confidence. Dogs were divided into 5 weight classes from extra small to extra large, with top finishers in each class competing in the finals. Organizers say the contest raises funds for orphaned pets. The event also featured a canine costume contest, agility course, and a meetup event for dog owners. It's a lot of puppies.
It is. Some look a little scared.
They look a lot scared.
Right.
But that little white floofy one did look kind of cute there. And what was it, a purple
Oh, that
outfit?
guy's like, get me off this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe they go for training, though. Little doggy training.
There you go. Very cute,
There
though. Nice weather, though, to do anything outside today.
Yeah, maybe not necessarily getting in the water,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was nice to be out. I know earlier you guys were talking about some apple orchards. I'm sure those were packed over the weekend. We've got some 80s coming up here by the end of the week.
Thank you, Candace.
We'll see you again at 6.